In a recent live stream, someone asked me, is it better to get an old flagship or a new mid-range phone? Well, I did some research and let me tell you, it's really interesting right now. I'll tell you all about it right after this.
This is, you listening to Travis.
What up, players? Welcome back. And for all you new people, welcome. My name's Travis and I do tech videos every single week and have a blast doing them. If that sounds like fun to you, sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Anything I talk about will be in the description below. But for now, let's just get into the video. Now, I've been talking for a long time about how people are keeping their smartphones longer and longer because the processors are great, the amount of RAM is ridiculous, and they're just really well built. Unlike when smartphones first came out, even 2, 3, 4 years later, they're still amazing. I recently did a video about the iPhone 6s, and it totally stands up to 2019 standards. You can check out the video, I'll probably put it in the end screen, or I don't know, in the end or something. But this question, should you get an old flagship versus a new mid-range, is really interesting. We're seeing a lot of really cool phones for inexpensive, and let's be clear, inexpensive isn't really inexpensive, but less than what flagship $1,000 phones are. One thing that most people maybe don't realize and recognize is that, especially on the Android side of things, they lose value fast. I'm only gonna go over the top major brands on the Android side, and of course on iPhone, I'm just gonna talk about the iPhone. So if you like different types of Android phones, just assume that the pricing has dropped pretty much the same in line with those phones as well. These things essentially aren't really worth very much very shortly after they come out. You almost have to just be ridiculously ridiculous to get these things when they come out, or have a YouTube channel. When you see the price of some of these only months after they came out, your head might spin. Let's start off with Android since there's a couple different options there. If you're looking for a new Android phone, I know that the OnePlus 7 Pro looks amazing, and yeah, it's pretty fantastic. And at a price starting at $669, but really around the $700 mark for what you'd really want, it's not too bad, especially for what you get. But immediately that begs the question, what else can you get for $700? Samsung has a bunch of lower end and mid end phones, the A series, which you may not be familiar with. If you go to Amazon.com, you can find the Samsung A50, which is an under $300 phone. Now, I will say under $300, you probably just want to go ahead and get that one. That's a really good deal. Having said that, not much above that are some flagships. Now remember, it's only been just over a year since the Galaxy S9 series of phones came out, and they're still absolutely fantastic with the latest updates, an incredible camera, performance for days, and pretty much just about anything you could ever need. And for the vast majority of people, it definitely is worth the money that they cost now. So let's start with the Galaxy S9, the regular size S9. Right now on eBay and some other websites, you can get a factory unlocked Samsung S9 for $300. That phone came out at just under $1,000 last year, and it's $300 right now. Yes, we're talking about under the pricing of the Pixel 3a, which we thought was a great deal for the price. But when you can get a Samsung S9, what are you doing with your life? Now, say you're like me and you like bigger phones, the S9 Plus is $400. That's right, you're under the price of the Pixel 3a XL for an S9 Plus. Just a year ago, that was the bomb diggity phone. $400. We're still under $500. This is blowing my mind. Now, if you want to stay Google, for under $500, you can either have a Pixel 3 or Pixel 3 XL, which, by the way, if you don't remember, are the better processor, better versions of the A's that just came out, the 3A, 3A XL, for under $500. Either one, they're both under $500. What are we talking about here? It's very obvious that a year after the fact, smartphones and flagship smartphones on the Android side of things really lose their value. But what about smartphones that came out this year, just a couple months ago? Oh, they went down too. The Galaxy S10, yeah, the one that came out a couple months ago, the middle one, not the E, can be had for $600. Less than the S10e launched for just a couple of months ago. But really the biggest slap in the face is you can get an S10 Plus for $700. Still less than the S10e launched for just a couple of months ago. Now, if you like to pay for things through your carrier, I get it. You can't, pay all the money right now and all at once on eBay, although they do have a credit card if you want to go down that path. But the point is simple. These things drop prices immediately. As soon as they come out, they're worth nothing. Smartphones are just, they're a dime a dozen anymore. So that $1,000 you spent on the S10 Plus just a couple of months ago, hope those extra couple $100 were worth it. Now, I'm not gonna forget about the iPhone people. Similar situation there, if you can actually believe it. I know that iPhones tend to keep their value a little bit longer, but in this case, it's not much different. If you like the form factor of the iPhone 8, well, I got some good news for you. It's under $400. Maybe you want an 8 Plus. That processor's still one of the best ones. It's under $500. Maybe you want an all-screen iPhone 10, $600, which is less than the 10R is right now. Although you could argue the 10R is better. I mean, you probably could. By the way, iPhone 10R, $629. Sure, just over $600, which is still a really great deal. Notice that the drop between the 10R, when it released before the S10, has only gone down about $130, but the S10 only a couple of months ago has gone down hundreds of dollars. Listen, at the end of the day, there are deals to be had. All you have to do is be patient. Literally, that's it. Just be patient. Just wait a little bit. You're gonna save some money. So I think to answer the question, should you get a mid-range phone now or a past flagship phone? Seems pretty obvious to me. Get that flagship, man. They're not that much more expensive than a mid-range phone. Sometimes they're less expensive. And the power that they have, the longevity they have is definitely gonna outlast the mid-range. Now, there is one thing you do have to keep in mind. With a past flagship that's about a year old, you're missing out on about a year of updates from this point forward. So for example, if you were to buy the newest iPhone this year, you get like the 3 or 4 or 5 years or whatever. But if you buy a flagship that's a year old, you get less. But you're right up to date now, so who really cares? You're saving hundreds of dollars. So I hope that helped you out. Leave me a comment below. Are you gonna buy one of these phones? They're all pretty well priced now. Either go to eBay, Amazon, Swappa, there's tons of places where you can buy these phones. And let me tell you something, whether you're in America or out of state, or out of the country, you can get a deal. If this video helped you out in any way, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell. And if it didn't, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. I'm here every single week, having a blast. Hope to see you again real soon. Peace and love, peace and love. Will I be able to wait for the note?